Dawn's experience was good at the end, but it was a long path. Dawn put an application form in, and I'm sure you're aware of the application process, where you have to write why you want an assisted death, etc. And she got turned down a number of times because there was some concerns that there may have been depression. So there was 2 years waiting to get approved, and then COVID complicated things.
Oh, I see.
So that was the kind of stuff that's going on. Dawn initially applied as an insurance policy, I think, like most people do. She was really struggling with, I think she had osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. She needed like new wrists, fingers, knees, most of her joints needed replacing. And she was becoming increasingly more isolated. And Dawn said that her quality of life was becoming virtually nothing. She had to sell a car. She couldn't even get out. She didn't have that. She used to be an avid walker. She was an avid dancer. She's a party animal, basically, most of her life. And a really good woman. She was very supportive of others. She was involved in different campaigns. She worked with people under the label of mental health, etc. A really nice woman.
Freedom of movement. I can no longer walk great distances. Even walking down to the post office causes pain. I have to take a fair amount of medication. The epilepsy is drug controlled, but even the best care in the world is just an endless daily management of several incurable issues. My left arm is weakened and I can no longer do much with it. And coupled with severe arthritis, it is both challenging and frustrating. More than that though, as a result of untreatable brain bleeds which could continue, I am losing the ability to express myself both verbally and in writing. My body is old, worn out and failing. I am really fearful of being trapped in that body with no way out. It's a horrible feeling because I have always been independent. I chose how to live my life, and now the suffering and sadness feel at times unbearable. I believe I should choose how to die. My choice would be a legal assisted dying in the UK. However, because this is not possible, and would not be possible if the bill proposed by Baroness Meacher is passed, I have applied and been accepted for an assisted death in Switzerland, a death that I, and I alone, choose and physically act on and take sole responsibility for. But I have to go while I am still able to travel and while I still have capacity.
So we finally got her approval, got her accepted, but then she started to have head bleeds, which become a little bit of an issue. I mean, this is again another problem of not having it in your own country.
Right.
So the concerns then become that the head bleeds could have been neither here nor there. And I'm not a medical person, and Dawn wasn't medical. But I think I thought, okay, so I might have one or two and never have another one. I might have a few small ones, or I might just have one big one that doesn't kill me, but leaves me completely incapable of traveling. So that was part of a getting ready journey, and it brought her death nearer. And she said, because she kept tossing and turning, well, maybe I can see. Which was the worst thing for Dawn because of the arthritis, etc. And she said, maybe I was nearly through the winter. It was like November. I think I could go on, but my main concern is if I have that bleed that stops me going. So let's go. And she was, she wasn't blasé about it. She struggled quite a lot, which I think is a good thing. And she said, I don't know if this is right or not. Should I be this worried about it? And I said, well, we're all built differently. we all think about it different ways. And that choice is yours. Is it too soon? Isn't it too soon? Etc. Can you get another winter? But that's something that you and only you can answer. And we had a date set, and for some bizarre reason, she phoned me up and she said, "Do you think Erica would be annoyed if I put it back 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So I said, no, Erica doesn't want people there until they're completely ready. Simple
Right.
as that. And I said, has something come up? Have you found something? Have you, there's something that you need to do? And I said, if I can do to help. And he said, no, I just got a really bad feeling about that particular date. But
Mhm.
being slightly suspicious of different things and a bit gullible still at my ripe old age. That day I'm like checking all the flights and the railways to see if there'd been an accident and she was having some kind of premonition, but wasn't.
Right.
So when we put it back 3 weeks, again, one of the Dawn was older than me, so I think she's about 74, 75 when we went to Bali. She'll probably kill me, but she won't do anything, will she? Because she's not here. But what she couldn't do was use the internet, and like the booking hotels was an issue. So because
Right.
the groups in Switzerland, fine, you make your application, but they can't book hotels for you, they can't book flights for you. There's lots of stuff that they can't do. Not should they have to do.
Right.
And that was a real issue for Dawn. So I had to virtually do everything. So I had to book the hotels, I booked the trains. I even contacted a local taxi company, got a taxi for her to be taken to Gatwick Airport. And then I booked. I said to her, I can't get down in time. If I was to come down the day that we fly out, I'd have to leave here. Well, the earliest train was like 6 o'clock, and I
Mhm.
wouldn't have made it in time. So I decided that I was going to book into the hotel, the Premier Inn, just opposite the airport. Sure, well, can you book me a room as well? So yeah, I did that, and I got down on the Sunday afternoon about 4 o'clock, and that's where it changed completely. That's
Mhm.
where it absolutely changed completely. So she'd got down just after 12, I think, because she'd settled in her room. So I found out where she was and I knocked. I said, right, but I booked, we can get meals tonight. I've already booked breakfast for us both tomorrow. Do you want to, you fancy an evening meal? Because you're not quite sure how someone's going to be, are you, really? It's,
Right.
which, of course, I want a meal. And I'm not convinced I was sober for much time after that, to be perfectly honest with you. No, I did remain sober, but
Mhm.
it was just great. We had a really amazing meal in the hotel, which is, I'm a vegan, so it's always difficult for me to get something to eat. But I had a good meal there. She had a good meal, and then the wine started flowing, and then it continued flowing, and it continued flowing. So that's how it was. Then the next morning we got up, we had a really good breakfast, and it was just like, I don't know, I just thought it was going to go to a festival or something. To be honest with you,
Mhm.
we're talking about groups from the '60s, the festivals that we'd both been to, and you've been to all these places where you meet people later in life, and
Mhm.
you didn't know them or anything. So
Yeah.
that was great. It was a really good time. She was happy. And we just settled in, and then again, it was really great. It was mid-afternoon. We got introduced. Everybody had a little bit of a rest and got changed. I had some things to do.
Mhm.
Lovely evening meal, and we just stayed away. But then the rest of the time, we went out into Bal a couple of times in the afternoon, and we always had a nice meal and
Mhm.
wine. And on the last night, Erica invited us around to her house for a meal, so we went round to.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
Erica invited. Well, not just Dawn and I. There was the young lady at the back, as you can see in the video. She's
Uh-huh.
a PhD student. She's studying in New York, and she came across with us as a researcher, because
Mhm.
she'd been following Dawn for 7 or 8 months, I think, if not a little bit longer. I'd been working with her for a couple of years by then. And there
Mhm.
was two people from the Daily Mirror, and we all got invited across. So that was great. It was just a good time, sat around talking about different things and socialising. And then she said on the way back, she said to me, there was a church close by the hotel, because she started smoking. That was the funny thing about Dawn, because she started smoking when we got to Switzerland. I've never ever known her smoke. but because she smelled like a trooper for the last week. That was amazing. But, like she said, it don't do me any harm, is it? And so, on the way back, she said she wanted to go into church. I said, well, I didn't know he was a person of faith. She said, no, I'm not. I just want somewhere quiet where I can sit and be by myself. And I said, well, look, do you know what? It's nearly midnight. The church will be closed. It's not a bad night. And there's chairs outside the hotel. You can get in and out of there. Well, just sit outside if that's what you want. You don't want to be in your roof. Just want to. I think he was wanting to be with nature. Just to be that outside thing. So she did that. The young woman that came with us found it difficult because she kept saying to me, "Should we be leaving her? Should we be leaving her?" So what are you worried about? Self-harming or something? I said, it's what she wants. She's by herself, but it's what she wants. Most of her life, like you're by yourself. Sometimes company can be a pain in the backside. It's you just want that by yourself. So that was all right. I mean, she did it, and just before I left her, I went upstairs. She said, "I probably won't be down for breakfast in the morning." So I said, "Okay." Choose what you want. And I thought, I'm down there because it's going to be a long day. Probably won't get a chance to eat. We're flying back home that night.
Yeah.
And I think breakfast started at 7 o'clock. So I was down bang on 7 o'clock, ready for some bread and copious amounts of coffee. And there's Dawn on the table. It's like a loaf and marmalade and jams and coffee going down. So she obviously changed her mind during the night. We drank we had a bottle of champagne, and she'd also asked. She'd also asked if she was booked in at 9 o'clock. Generally, you're dead by 1:15. It's just some papers to fill and everything. But Erica's really, really good. And then she meets your needs, and Dawn wanted to know if we could play music, so I put a playlist together that I asked her what records she liked and what she wanted. We got a playlist together, and then we got in there. She had to do the official stuff. When she was doing an interview with Amy from the Daily Mirror, it's a big national paper. They're really supportive in England, in the UK. She was so articulate and so clear and so precise and everything that she wanted and everything. And it was going on, and I think Amy just wanted more and more, and Dawn was kind of just willing to speak and everything. And Erica said to me, "We need to get a move on, basically." And the reason for that is because there was the medical examiner, the police, and the undertaker all on standby. So there's just a finite amount of time that you can take. So Dawn had it back to me, and I was trying to walk up behind Dawn and kind of do this to Amy, the reporter, let's wind it up. But Dawn must have just worked out what was going on, because she just turned around to me and said, "Is it time to go, Alex?" I said, yeah, it is. So she said, "Okay, right." So I just stepped away slightly from where the table was, and then from the bottom picture, we just actually got up, and I just come across, and we had a hug and a smile. You get a bit emotional.
Yeah, of course.